Welcome, Sojourners. You have found yourself a cozy place here at Sojourners Awake. I'm Jonathan, and this is our production of The Bookish and the Brave. Like you, the Sojourners are on a mission. They face conflict and sometimes even danger. And in this most recent production, as you will find, the Sojourners received their very first mission outside of Baldtop Library. And they are determined to go back into Bochen. 1 year after they fled the revolution, they now travel across the countryside to go back into the city. And what will they find along the way? And who will they become? And so for now, our story continues. Bochen is aflame. During the second month of winter, a chill air blew through the court of air. The snow rested like icing upon the towers and parapets of Baldtop Library. The Bookends held within their hands the official papers to investigate and acquire information regarding the source of the Gingwatsons, these aberrant oozes that shape and metamorphose into books. On 3 accounts, this horrid magic was used, and the 3 pilgrims who brought these abominations into the library waited now in expectation to leave the citadel should the Bookends fail. Skoda commissioned the Bookends with these words. On their word, the pilgrims say they purchased the books in the lower city, or what's left of it, in Bochen. Each of them recalls seeing the letter A painted upon the mobile booth. Should you fail your mission and be captured, Baldtop will not admit to any sort of interference. And because of your ability to move in the shadows, we know you will take the appropriate measures to secure this information. And of course, our documents will describe how upright and legal your methods will forever and always be. Once successful, bring back your findings to Tower 13 in Baldtop Library. The passcode will be sent to you by the time you reach Bochen. Bookends defend knowledge, wisdom, and truth, and if I may add, according to the Dragon's Way. In all your endeavors, choose success. As you stand in the court of air with the gates of Baldtop Library open, the Skoda bookworm present, and the sight of the 3 pilgrims in custody, how do you respond?
Vaughn is looking at the 3 pilgrims, specifically our buddy Philo, and kind of shakes his head and then starts thinking about Bochen and what he remembers of the outer city and the lower city, and wonders what those places look like. And then his mind wanders to the upper city and starts to think about his family and his family's estate, and then also wonders if the monastery is still intact, where he did all of his learning. So he's contemplative, but he's staring through the space where those 3 pilgrims are.
And Sterling's walking up to all the pilgrims, shaking their hand. Hey, thank you for our first mission to leave. It's so nice. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, this is going to be great. And we've been here for a year. We haven't left this place. It's about time we got out of here. So thank you. Yes, thank you. But then as soon as he's done with the pleasantries, he's like filled with dread because he's got to go back to the scene of the crime. He is remembering a year ago that feeling of just what happened. But he's with his friends now, so he feels a bit better.
And Hawkins is still sort of getting over the shock of seeing them, being shipped off. He thought that they were going to be free to go, so sort of looking around for who's in charge, maybe who would have given orders for them to be shackled up.
Hawkins, without any sort of check, you see that there is a proud purple robe half-orc man who, with a long wooden staff, walks over to Philo, Ricardo, and Celine, the three pilgrims, and leads them into a small apartment. The apartment has a lock, windows, a chimney, and a small garden outside. But it does seem like, to the best of your awareness, these pilgrims are on some sort of lockdown until your mission is complete. Philo does give one look back to Sterling with pleading in his eyes. That's seemingly the only person who is empathetic to his plight.
Just giving him a big thumbs up. We've got you, brother. We'll be back.
The door locks. The half-orc stands guard proudly outside. The gates are open, and there is a fresh sun that is bathing the countryside. Skoda uncrosses his arms, says, "Well, seems you've got it covered. In all your endeavors, choose success."
Thank you. We should go. Vaughn starts walking towards the gate.
Hawkins, you hear Old Man Whiskers. Hold up, man. Hold up. Wait. I knew you would be heading out. Hey, look, I got something for you. I took care of the liberties of looking over that recipe you were talking about, the cacao beans and everything, and I got in here something a little for the traveling road, some chocolate gravy in this pouch here, and some fresh biscuits. Now, the biscuits they'll hold up for a couple days, and I'm not really sure how to meld the two together. I did not get that far in my engineering. I'll leave that up to you. And then a mechanical lion rushes past and stands right next to you, all the paws on the ground, and it bleeps out the words, "Protect, protect."
Oh, Old Man Whiskers, that's wonderful. Thank you for looking out for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it looks like you got a name for this little fella right here. He's freshly polished, oiled up, and you can see the sun shining on his metal skin. I'm sure you got a name for him by now, huh?
I call him Lion M.
Lion M. Well,
Yep.
that makes sense.
We've been working our way through the alphabet.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Easy
the
enough.
last one was Lionel. He had a good personality.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, well, do they have personality? He turns around and the halfling henfolk man shakes his head. His white curls ruffle over and release all kinds of dust and metal. Can they have personalities? Thinks thoughtfully, and then he looks back, gives you one last wave. A fresh ray of sun warms the skin on your cheeks, and the corkscrew highway lays before you. You have quite a few miles to walk underneath your feet, and along the way, how do you speak to one another?
Are you all ready to go back to Bochen? This was not so nice the last time we were there.
You telling me? Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm a little apprehensive about it. But hey, it can't go as bad as last time, right? We just got to watch out for those weird tree creatures.
That's for sure.
I'm sure my parents are fine, and I didn't really leave a whole lot else behind. Well, I hope, anyways. I hope that Fletcher and his family, that was my boss and my partner, I hope they got out.
Well, now that you know about my family, you should also know that there is another lord from Bochen who would like to see me dead, and it's important that he doesn't know that I'm coming. You may have, anyway, I guess, you've had an interaction with Lord Basile, Hawkins, I know that. You mentioned that. I believe he's behind most of what happened. He's the one that I saw in my home when my family was murdered. So I understand that he's looking for me as well, and although I would like to see him someday, I don't think today is the day.
Got it. So no steeples and no bottoms. All right, Bon.
I am Vaughn.
And we'll try to watch each other's back here. I don't think any of us want to get close to someone who is involved in bringing down Bochen.
And at this moment, which one of you has the summons to investigate?
I imagine Hawkins is holding it.
That's fair.
Hawkins, as you look over this summons, you see the bulleted points of information. The red letter A, common theme, mobile tent in the lower city. You know that Bochen is divided up into 3 parts. The outer city, which for the most part was completely desolate and impoverished, high crime, even in the heyday of Bochen. The lower city is where most of the market and majority of people live, where the upper city is reserved for entertainment and the working upper and noble classes, as well as high places of worship, including the High House of Wonders, a temple dedicated to Gond, god of craft. This letter visible in your hands as you walk behind the other 2, struggling to keep up with their pace. The hills become more and more common as you go over the hill and around the lane. As the sun begins to set, you come across a very familiar redwood tree.
Vaughn sees the tree and takes a wide berth. He's not interested, and he's got half an eye on that tree the entire time he's walking past it.
Sterling's looking for mushrooms.
Go ahead and make a perception check then, my friend.
Nah, it's no good. 11.
11. Yeah. As you say, you do take not too much time. You just simply give a glance across this countryside and area, and seeing Vaughn keep a wide berth, you find yourself alone, walking around looking for a couple mushrooms. Nevertheless, you're unable to spot any at all.
Where'd Sterling get off to? Sterling?
You can hear him singing, "Against my lover, never be another," and something else. We never did get around to that.
Hawkins walks off the path in the direction that he's gone. Hey, Sterling, you gonna come with us?
Oh yeah. I can hear that machine from a mile away. I was going to catch up to you. I was just looking for those mushrooms. They look kind of fun.
You mean like the mushrooms that attacked us, or something to eat?
Oh no, the ones that attacked us. I wanted to stay clear of them.
Well, I appreciate you looking out, but it won't do if you get caught all by yourself.
Are we sure we want to go to Bochen? It wasn't very good last time.
Sterling, Hawkins, we need to move.
All right, well, boss is calling us.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, all right, let's go.
The 2 of you indeed catch up to your boss, the mechanical Lion M, trotting off next to Hawkins, keeping up the pace. The waning light beckons you now to rest. Pushing forward into the pace, reaching Bochen, you have at least 1 night to rest, choosing not to rest near this fairy forest of redwood trees. You make for another spot. Vaughn, considering that you are keeping a wide berth away from this very convenient campsite, what are you looking for in particular?
Vaughn is looking for a place that is pretty thick in brush, but has kind of something that we can get up against, where one side is a little more dense, and we could feel like that's kind of a backboard, and then a place where we could see out. But it definitely wants to find a place that looks nothing like where that redwood was. So he's looking for different types of trees. He's looking for a different type of clearing. He wants something that doesn't reflect that place at all.
And how did the other 2 of you contribute to helping Vaughn accomplish this security?
Hawkins does very little to help. I guess once Vaughn has located a spot, Hawkins will help him make it more comfortable, but he doesn't know the first thing about finding a good place to settle down.
Yeah, all Sterling does is making sure he's got a good view to look up. Obviously, he's not spent a whole lot of time outside and in the wild. It was Bochen and straight to Vault-Top just that night in the Laughing Ghost Inn. So he's out of his element here too, but he just wants to be able to see the stars.
This place over here, guys. This one will work. You can see we can put our backs to this grove of trees here, and anything comes from that direction, we should be able to hear them in the underbrush. And if we can look out this direction, and you can see we can see a little distance. So if something was to try to sneak up on us, we would have time to react. Let's make camp here.
Hey, that's real smart, Vaughn. Where'd you read about that?
Well, Hawkins, I think you know that I didn't read about that anywhere.
Well, I guess I just assumed. Since you know something.
Well, you know that I spent quite a bit of time in the outer city and some time in the lower city, but I also spent quite a bit of time in the monastery. And the monastery is out in the forest a ways. And so I spent a good amount of my time learning about the ways of the forest as well. And so I don't know a whole lot, but I know enough to find a campsite. And that's what we needed tonight.
No kidding. That's pretty cool. Another reason, glad to have you along, because I would have thought, just get some shelter and that's about it. And the best shelter I see is over there in that forest that you were walking around.
Yeah, that was. I don't want to go back there.
I hear you there.
In order to prepare for the best possible night, Vaughn, you make a survival check, and Sterling, you said a magic word, so you also get to make a survival check. Hawkins, twiddle your thumbs. You need to beat a 15.
10.
17.
I love that Sterling got this. Okay. Vaughn, you're preparing, putting your back up against the wall, focusing on the terrain, the ground, and most of this area is covered in quite a bit of snow, though a lot of it has melted, so there's sticks and underbrush that are peeking through the melted frost on the ground. Sterling, as you're looking up into the stars, you catch something in the trees, the boughs above. It indeed looks like a small hand axe. And it's hanging precariously, just kind of loosely moving in the wind, rocking back and forth in the trees. From this vantage point, you can see it looks pretty crudely made.
Hey, do you see that, or am I seeing things? Do trees grow weird like that around here?
No, it looks like a weapon.
Ooh. Okay. What would that weapon be used for?
Yes, it would be. Can Vaughn reach it, or does he have to climb to get it?
You would have to climb.
Does it look like something he could climb pretty easily?
I think Vaughn could easily climb up and get it. So you're moving up, climbing up the branches. It's taking about a good 30 minutes to an hour to find the right path to climb. But once you're up here, Vaughn, you see there's quite a bit of a network of tree houses. Now you're up in the boughs, you can see. Your muscles are starting to twinge a little bit and shake just from the grip and the strange contortionist positions you're in. But once you grab the axe, actually you are able to snap the branch that the axe is hanging upon, but take it from there.
So if Vaughn gets up into the trees and there's an axe there, but he also sees the potentially homes of some people, before he reaches for the axe, he's going to identify if there are people there.
Okay. Hawkins and Sterling, he's taking a while, and you can see that he's now looking around, his attention diverted from the axe. Vaughn, let's say, at this point you can identify that it looks like some sort of intelligent construction rather than a natural beast. but you can't see any specific details unless you leap over to the next bough.
Now this is okay, so I'm seeing a creature of some sort?
No, I'm saying at this point you can see that it looks like so far the treehouse was definitely made by an intelligent creature.
Oh, I see.
Because
Okay.
of the engineering, it's not a
Right,
natural
it's not like
beast.
a bird's nest or something like that. Okay.
But to get a closer look, you're gonna have to leap.
How far do I have to jump?
Oh, 16 feet.
Yeah. I think he'll get how far above the ground am I?
It took you about an hour, so I'm gonna say 50 feet. Yeah.
Hey, Vaughn, what are you doing?
There's something up here. I'm gonna jump over and see what it is.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll catch you if you fall.
That sounds like a good idea, Sterling. You stand
Okay.
right underneath me, and
Okay.
I'll land on you.
Great. Oh,
So Vaughn, yeah, he would. Vaughn is going to use his step of the wind. I believe he can, and that's going to allow him. That gives him a 28-foot jump. But I need to make sure that he doesn't have to have a running start.
Take your time. It looks like 18 points of damage if you fall.
Oh, that's all. Oh, it just says your jump distance is doubled. So,
So that means what?
so it means that he can jump 28 feet.
Good gosh. Okay. Well, take it away, Vaughn.
So Vaughn is going to he's going to look like he's going to just kind of try to hop over, and then he realizes that that's a lot further than I thought it was initially. So he takes a deep breath, and he kind of crouches down, and then decides to make the effort, and he springs, and it's just this supernatural jump. He has no idea how he's flying as far as he did, but he actually overshoots the branch that he was looking to land on, and lands on a thicker branch, maybe 5 feet beyond the one that he was planning to land on, and grasps on and turns around real quick to see what happened, and realizes that he just jumped way further than he's ever jumped before in his life. And he looks down. He says, "Did you see that?
steeple bottom.
I'm gonna check out this this place here."
Not able to hear any of Vaughn's specific words. Only shouting is heard at this point. Hawkins, besides twiddling your thumbs, how do you appear?
He's just kind of entertained by all this that's going on. I mean, he saw Vaughn make the leap, and I guess probably couldn't read his facial expressions, but could hear his tone of voice that he was a little bit shocked with himself. So he's just watching the show.
Vaughn, you've never been able to do this, nor could any normal person ever accomplish this feat. And you're now sitting inside of a small tree house that's built for someone a lot like Hawkins' size. Let's see. No, the axe is still hanging up there, never moving. You crouch down and you see that there's a very unique language. Can you tell me which languages you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Dwarvish.
Okay. Language you do not recognize, but it does look like it's some sort of common language around here. It looks intelligent and just kind of scrawled on the wall, a lot like strange pictographs, like in a cave. And you see a large monkey-like mammal creature hulking in size with lots of little minions. And there's fires burning up all around. And in this mammal's hand looks like half of a human's body. Very crudely drawing. And the minions are all dancing around the fire. And there's some strange drawings on the wall. You see that there's a small pot, and there's a small little box with a lock that has yet to be opened. Hawkins, while this is happening, your steel defender starts to just move around, mechanically whirring as its head just spins in a 180 direction. You know this is a sign that something is amiss.
Sterling, get ready. Something's going on here.
So Sterling, after he saw Von jump, had been just kind of looking at through his star glass into the sky, and for ritualistically casting like detect magic just to kind of find out what's going on, because he saw Von jump and he was like, was that magic? So he's just trying to work it out. And as a ritual, he's been casting detect magic.
Sterling, you do get a ping of magic coming right where Vaughn is. Something in that area, up in the trees. Vaughn, you see what catches your attention at this moment. You have a split second to respond. What do you do with your time?
So I noticed the locked chest, and I noticed the little kettle pot, but it doesn't look like anybody's been there for a while, correct?
I'll give you a chance to skirt around. Other than what you saw, you can do a risky perception check if you want, or investigation.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, he's just trying to quick glance. Does it look like fires recently or anything like that? Just not nothing in depth. Just like, does he see a bunch of cobwebs? Does he see fire or anything like that?
Let me rephrase the question. What would you like to do in depth?
He's going to. I think he's trying to identify if anybody has been here recently, and if nobody has, he's going to. I think curiosity is going to get the best of him. He's going to try to pick that lock.
You see that? I'll give you 2 for 1. The lock looks like there's a really crude bone that has been jabbed into the lock shaft. It looks like somebody had been jimmying it just recently.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely. If he doesn't see anybody around there, I think he's going to try to pick that lock.
Do you have anything to pick it with?
Yeah, I've got a kit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've got thieves' tools and I'm proficient with them. How about an 11?
How badly do you want it? You can do it. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
If he feels like he made any progress, he's going to stay with it.
You stay with it then. And sure enough, it starts to pick open. During that time, a small twig cracks, though Vaughn, you cannot hear it. Your mind focused on this lock. As it opens up, Sterling, simultaneously, that ping of magic just starts to fill your consciousness, and you can nearly look up and see that tree just glowing with magic now. Vaughn, you do see there is a small necklace. It's beautifully ornate. It's silver, and it looks like it's made in a very gaudy fashion, clasps upon someone's neck. And inside, there's all sorts of baubles and rings and beads and other various items of jewelry. But the necklace seems to be the prize of this box. And you then 15 to hit you.
15 does not hit me.
Okay, an arrow just goes by your ear and sticks in the pole of this tree house right next to you. Instinctively, you turn around and you see there's a small goblin creature pointing in your direction. And he chants something, points at you, and you hear the trees begin to rustle. Everyone roll initiative. 20 for the goblins.
22 for Hawkins.
Hawkins, I'll let you go first because you had that steel defender on alert.
3 for Steph.
That's not good.
He's still too busy looking into and that magic's distracting him.
Vaughn, I think, is too busy doing a little evasion roll to attack right away. He got a 7.
Okay, so we've established you're 50 feet up in this treehouse, and the two of you can also see the boughs begin to rustle and come alive, and this wind of almost this invisible wind starts moving towards that treehouse, towards Vaughn. Hawkins, you are first in the initiative. That steel defender is now keeping a sharp lookout on that same little patch of leaves that are moving towards Vaughn, and you can see that one of the goblins has placed himself 50 feet from your line of sight up there in the treehouse. He's got a small short bow he just shot at Vaughn. You can't tell if Vaughn's been hit, but he does look pretty hostile. It seems without any sort of doubt that you have stumbled upon one of their lairs.
Yeah, so hearing the twang of the bow, Hawkins will pinpoint the location of this goblin and aim his light crossbow up and take a shot at it. That is a 9.
9. The arrow goes right between his legs.
That's it. He'll load the crossbow and that's it.
Give me a stealth check, Hawkins.
Ooh, even worse.
Probably good, though.
Disadvantage, right?
Not that kind of disadvantage. I was trying to see if they noticed you firing at them. So what did you get?
4 total.
Yeah, so they do. So half of their attention is diverted away from Vaughn. 4 goblins show up. 2 of them see you, Hawkins. They're going to go and take 2 shots at you, 50 feet away. 19 and a 6.
The 19 hits.
5 points of piercing damage. Vaughn, a natural 1 and a 6. Take it away, Vaughn. Yeah, they fired both of these arrows at you. How do you evade?
So the first arrow went flinging by Vaughn's head, and he just, when he saw it, he kind of rolled out of the way, and instinctively he rolled in the direction of a little piece of furniture. And it just so happened that the next 2 arrows that they shot both hit that piece of furniture. So there was no way it was going to hit him, but he was able to get himself in a prepared position to move at that point and could also see where the arrows were coming from.
Well done. So far, 4 goblins seem to have made their presence. They all have ranged weapons. And their turn passes. Vaughn, how do you respond?
So Vaughn is going to rush over to where those 2 goblins are, longsword in hand, and he's going to try to punch one of the goblins out of the tree. He's going to try to smack him and knock him out of the tree.
And with your movement, you're walking on branch to branch to branch. First, give me a dexterity save. You're going for, I'm going to say,
19.
Okay, you're fine.
20.
20. Vaughn skates across like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, jumping from bow to bow. Go ahead and make your attack. And this first goblin, you're trying to knock him out of the tree.
Correct.
Okay, you need to get a 15 to do that.
That's a 25.
Poof, goblin goes falling to the ground and splatters splatters on the snow.
Is the second one within reach?
Indeed.
All right, he will use a key point to do it again.
Okay, 15.
That is a 19.
Dang. Gosh. 2 goblins falling down, pop, pop, on the ground.
I do have one more punch. Is another one that shot at Hawkins within reach, or are they somewhere else?
I feel like you've burned all your movement, so unless you can
Okay.
throw a punch about 15 feet away. No.
Well, that comes later.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
And you do see that 2 have begun firing upon Hawkins. Vaughn, you can hear the trees have not stopped rustling. Sterling.
So Sterling's completely distracted by his starstone, looking up at the stars. But as he's doing so, he hears this thump thump as these goblins fall down, and all of a sudden, out of his starstone, like this, like ethereal night smoke is coming out of it and coating his body. The mechanics is it's casting bark skin on himself, but it's kind of making him harder to hit because they can't see him quite clearly. He's obscured in the night sky. And that's his action. And as a bonus action, you see the starstone glow, and the symbol of the chalice appears. He is wild shaped into chalice.
Beautiful. I love it. All right, round 2. Hawkins, you hear indeed more rustling, though the 2 goblins are now focused on you, firing missile after missile, trying to hit you in the snow.
Hawkins will load in one of his specialty bolts. That's going to, as it flies through the air, if it's a hit, will emit a low whistle, which he has prearranged with Vaughn and Sterling to signal their movement. So if this is a successful hit, then Vaughn will get to move, choose to use his reaction to move. This is a Battlemaster maneuver.
Wow. Love to see it work.
That's 24 to hit. So that is 6 damage, 6 piercing damage. And so as the bolt leaves his crossbow, it makes a low-pitched whistle. Vaughn, you can choose to use your reaction to move up to half your speed.
Okay. Vaughn will absolutely do that. Do you need another dex save for me to move?
With any movement, yep.
That is an 11.
It's good enough. You're wobbly a little bit, but the branch snaps beneath you, and you luckily land on another branch.
Okay, he's moving back towards the little treehouse.
Okay, fair enough. Back to the secure location.
I
Hawkins.
forgot. I was also supposed to roll a d6, the maneuver die for extra, or sorry, a d8 maneuver die for extra damage. So that's 4 more on top of that. Total of 10.
And yeah, with that, what happens, the bolt sticks inside the goblin, and he just laughs and cackles, and he pulls it out, and the bolt just opens up into a flower of metal, stabbing him, and you hear that third thump in the snow. Anything else, Hawkins?
That's all.
Okay, so 4 more goblins arrive with a total of 5. When you arrive back into the treehouse, 3 goblins land right in front of you, Vaughn. You now have company in this area. You used half of your movement to get back to the treehouse, so I don't think you're quite there yet. So they're inside the treehouse. They have like these little hand axes, and they're just chucking them at you. 11, 16, and a 22. 5 points of damage. And another one sees you, Hawkins, along with his buddy. He watches his buddy just fall to the ground, and he takes his place. He fires with a 22 and a 7.
22 hits.
Ooh, that's 7 points of damage.
All right.
Now with a total of 5 goblins. Vaughn, it is your turn.
So Vaughn is going to employ the exact same technique as before. He is going to try to punch all 3 goblins that are blocking his path and knock them out of the tree.
Go for 3 15s.
Oh boy, that's phenomenal. I rolled a 2, a 3, and a 3 for 8, 9, 9.
They jump up, and as you go to swipe them, they seem a little bit wiser. They go up in the air, and the bow of the tree then launches them high without your reach, seemingly activated some sort of escape mechanism.
Wow.
You have moved into their territory, so make that dex save.
Well, if they jumped, okay, I'll make a dex.
Wait,
save
no, I'm
first.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, because you still had to move to get to them. So
Right. Yeah, so my dex save was 15.
that's enough. You made it onto the treehouse.
But if they jumped out of the way, then I'm going to go all the way back in. And if I have enough movement, I'm going to get all the way to where that chest is.
Okay, you are at the chest, and the items are within your reach.
Well, if I can reach them this round, I'll grab them and stick them in my pocket.
I'll let you do an Arcana check just because I want to see how perceptive you are. Just a real quick one.
Not even a little bit. 6.
Nope, not at all. It's gold. It's shiny. It doesn't seem magical at all. However, Sterling, you notice that little detect magic aura that you sensed now diminish just a little bit. Vaughn, at the end of your turn, there are still 3 goblins kind of hanging out in your area, but it is now Sterling's turn.
And so we're Sterling standing on the ground. How far away is Vaughn from
50
him?
50 feet.
50 feet. And so as he's again looking into this stone and the chalice is playing, and he just says, and the chalice overflows, and the healing word hits 60 feet, and will heal Vaughn for 7 points of damage. And a healing extends out of him and back to Hawkins for 10 points of damage as the chalice overflows.
Well done, Sterling. At the top of round 3, 4 more goblins show up. Sterling on the ground. 2 run up to you.
I don't like how we keep adding 4 and we're not subtracting more than 3.
You didn't subtract any that round.
I know. That's bad. That's bad math.
Okay.
Not bad math on your part. Bad math for
Jeez.
us. Your math is good. It's just not good for us.
Not good for you. Okay, sorry. Sterling, 2 goblins rush up to you from seemingly out of nowhere from their little hiding spots. So Sterling, you are engaged with 2. Hawkins, 2 are within range, and Vaughn, 5 are engaged with you now. So Sterling, let's take care of yours first.
For 16.
Okay, so that's a 14 and a natural 20. So one rushes up behind you and stabs you in the leg with a small little spear. You're going to take 10 points of damage with that one.
Oof.
Right as you call out, the chalice, boom, spear in the back of the leg. Hawkins, the 2 are going to continue firing from their safe position. It's going to be a 20 and a 6.
He's good.
Steel Defender rushes up in front of you and takes one of the arrows, saving you. The Steel Defender takes 5 points of damage. Mechanics start fritzing a little bit as the missile lands between its armor.
About time.
Vaughn, 5 against you. They have closed you in. They all get advantage as they rush up. They have spears and they're just aiming to poke you. And one of them points to your pocket. So 4 of them are going to poke you. One of them is going to reach for the thing in your pocket. That are 2 natural ones. Oh my gosh, with advantage.
Did he kill his friends?
Yeah, I'm going to say. He falls. We'll say he falls. He slips and you just lift your leg and kick under his head, the back of his head, and he just goes tumbling down. You hear that poof, that horrible thud sound. So he's dead. 19 to hit. 5 damage to you. Another one. 22 to hit. Another 5 damage. Miss. And a miss. Lucky Vaughn has luck shining on him today. You take your damage. The last one is going to actually grab your pocket. So you didn't stow it away in any particular order. So it'll be his acrobatics versus your dexterity. It's going to be an 18 to beat.
No, I did not. 15.
Okay, so you sense that magic pick up again, Sterling. That pretty beautiful silver necklace. The goblin kind of swings it around and stuffs it in his loincloth, excited that he has run away. He seems to crack something of a smile. It looks maniacal and clown-like painted upon his face. You see they have war paint, and Vaughn, as you're batting off these creatures, you look on that little pictograph drawing in the hut of this treehouse, and you see it's a very similar scene. You're only missing the bonfire and one other element. Vaughn, it is now your turn.
All right, so the guy that took the necklace from me, he's trying to run away. So
Yes, he took the disengage action as a bonus action. He's moved out of your reach.
Okay, so with Sentinel, an enemy provokes an attack of opportunity even with disengage.
You may do it then. He is thinking he's able to tuck it under, so you didn't go for it. What'd you get?
I swung over the top of his head,
Yeah, okay, fine.
rolled another 2.
All right, he ducks under, try to cleave him in 2. Nothing happens. Your longsword singing through the air. Please take your turn.
All right, so I have 3 in front of me and 1 running away. Vaughn is looking for the best way that he can get, that he can make some progress away from these guys. And he'll probably punch whichever one he's running past first, and then just try to make some progress out of there.
So you're just using your movement to get away from the treehouse.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll chase the guy that has the necklace, and I'll try to punch him out of the tree. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. He is running in pursuit. He's taking a couple of the branches, trying to escape through some of the tunnels and the boughs of the leaves. So give me a dex save as you pass along him. You have to beat a 6, according to your skill set.
22.
You're fine. You're moving along, crawling a lot faster. He looks back and you hear him go, "Bah, gee, da, blah." And he just curses a little bit, and he's huddling inside this branch. So you're able to catch up with him.
All right, so he's inside of a branch. Does that mean he's not gonna fall if I hurt him?
There's always a small risk he could fall, but you're in a lot of thick boughs right now. It's less likely you're going to fall.
All right, well then I am going to take my sword and stick it in his backside. I'm
Skewer
assuming
him.
that's the part I can see, yeah.
Indeed. You're going for a 13.
That would be a 17.
7 or more damage, and you got him.
That is 8 points of damage.
Ooh, like a shish kebab, the sword just goes straight through him and he freezes in place. Simultaneously, you have ripped the jewelry from his loincloth and it's dangling on the tip of your sword.
All right. I will stick it back in my pocket, and then if I have any movement left, I'm going to move. I'm going to continue down the path over his dead body, as far away from the ones that are alive as possible.
Are you staying up in the branches or going down?
If I can see a nice way to start moving down, I'm trying to get down.
You can. You can easily move down very quickly with a high risk, or you can take it nice and slow.
No, he's going to go for it.
You're going to go
Absolutely.
for it.
Yeah.
I do have a question. You moved out of melee range of those creatures.
Yes.
Out of 3 of them.
Correct.
I'm a dude.
I did not disengage. I didn't say anything about disengaging. So yeah, they get.
So
to
retroactive.
attack.
I'm going to take 3 attacks against you.
That
That's
sounds
a
wonderful.
23 and a 16.
16 is no good. 23 is good.
So at this point, hardcore. 4 points of damage added on to you. You see that there's a small little knife that has been sticking in your thigh this whole time. You were unaware of it. It must have occurred sometime when you left the presence of the goblins. If you want to tumble, I will give you a very difficult acrobatics check as you tumble down the branches safely to the ground. With a failure, you will incur some damage. It's just about how much damage you take. It looks like about a 18 to hit to get down with minimal damage.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. He's got
Okay.
a lot of goblins, and the trees are still shaking, right?
Yep, they're still
He's
shaking.
he's gonna go for it then.
Okay, so I said earlier, it looked like a 15 points of damage fall. So give me an 18 or higher to get 3 points of damage. 18 or lower, you get 7 points of damage.
That is a 17.
Okay, so 7 points of damage then.
Okay. Vaughn gets to the ground in a thump, and he's looking pretty haggard.
You hear that last thump, Sterling, and you look over and you see Vaughn just covered in branches. He's bruised, he's beaten, he's got a dagger sticking out of his thigh, blood dripping on the sopping snow. And you hear the branches rustling above him, and that necklace he is holding in his hand stuffs it in his pocket at the last minute. Sterling,
How far away is Vaughn from Sterling?
you're all within 25 feet now.
25 feet now. Okay, cool. So the light will continue to shine through, and he's mechanically casting Cure Wounds on himself to take away that big hit that he got, and he regains 9 points, and then the healing goes out from him to Vaughn and gives him 9 points as well. He's still staying there. He doesn't even see the 2 goblins that are around him. He's just focused on the chalice.
Oh, but Vaughn, you do see there are 2 goblins taking turns picking at Sterling as he's issuing forth this healing magic.
I mean, as a bonus action, if you'd let him, he would cast Shillelagh on his quarterstaff. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, he's cast
sure.
a spell. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Go for
so
it.
yeah, as usual, now that he's kind of slowly coming into realization that that Vaughn is in a bad place, he's getting mad, and so he does what he usually does: reaches into his pouch, pulls out a sprig of his herbs, and just grabs his quarterstaff and starts looking red in the eye.
At the top of the round, Hawkins, you hear a rustling in your supplies. All the camping supplies, your rations, any kind of items. You indicated that the summons was in your hands on your person, so that is currently still on your person, but any camping supplies and rations, over in the corner, the lion spins its head around and alerts you a little bit. You look behind you and you see that there is one goblin who has been going through your stuff during this entire distraction. A smaller goblin, and he's got a backpack in which he's stuffing all of your rations and supplies, slings it over him. He looks like he's about ready to make out with the rest of your stuff. It is your turn.
Hawkins is going to load another of his special bolts into his crossbow and take a shot at this one. If successful, this will issue a high-pitched whistle. That is probably not. That's an 11.
Nope.
So the bolt goes wide, and the sound, the whistle that's supposed to emanate from it, kind of sputters as it goes along.
The sun starts to set. The goblin's turn. Having not killed that goblin, he starts to disengage into the forest, and he issues a loud cry. Yak, 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 yak. Sterling, the other two are going to take cheap shots at you, but then seem to leave. A 9 and a 9. They stab at spots, and as soon as they go to hit you, it's like their blades just fall off to the ground. They back away as if they just encountered a shaman. They take the nimble escape. They disengage without invoking any opportunity to attack from you, and they move into the bushes. Hawkins, the other two cease their firing. They move away into the boughs. Vaughn, one of them glares at you from the treetops above. He spits. It lands nearby, but nowhere close to your body. The trees go silent. And the sun sets.
Does Vaughn have a chance to chase after the one that has Hawkins' stuff?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
How do you? Okay.
I mean, Vaughn's very fast, so he's. I'm assuming he's much faster than a goblin, so he's going to chase after that guy and get Hawkins' stuff back.
In the thick of the bush, the trees become very tight. You're having to find not just the path the goblin took, but other clever paths. It's going to be more of an athletics check for you to succeed. I'm going to see how well this goblin's doing. He is in a favored area, so man, yeah, the number is going to be a 22 to beat.
For athletics?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's only one way I can beat that.
I'm sorry. No, hold on. That's going to be a 19. He has a -1 to strength. So 20. Yeah, it's a 19 to beat.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. So the success is that you do apprehend this goblin. You close the gap. Take it away.
Vaughn is going to grab the backpack, and he's going to pick up the backpack and try to shake the goblin out of it. And if the goblin falls out of the backpack, he's going to do non-lethal kick to the backside of this goblin.
Go for a 15.
Nope.
And with that, you see a guiding bolt fly out of Sterling's circle, Starstone, 120 feet. He uses his portent as his eyes are flickering with a 21 to hit. And
Cool.
you see...
Yeah, for Sterling?
120 feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that guiding bolt just flies out and hits him for 13 points of damage.
Ooh. So here's what happens. Vaughn, you go to kick this creature. Sterling, you see Vaughn disappear into the thicket. You steady your bolt. You calculate the location of the goblin. You focus and hone in with your hearing, releasing the energy. Vaughn, you go to kick the creature, and you do kick it. It grabs onto your boot. It does not let go. And he just holds on, and you can see now there's terror, fear in his eyes. The last of the sunlight starts to dip, and you see two large gleaming eyes in the dark, standing about 9 feet tall. And you suddenly become aware that the cold, chill air of winter is now mixed with this hot, steamy breath of bones and meat that have been long ground for days. The goblin clings onto you for life. And how much damage did you issue out, Sterling?
13.
13. The guiding bolt hits this Sasquatch right in the chest for 13 points of damage, and it recoils in anger and just bares his chest and roars, and spittle just splatters all over your face, Vaughn. And it looks very hungry. Every story comes to an ending, so for now we must conclude. Thank you for listening, Sojourners. Your attention will not go unrewarded, and we look forward to continuing this adventure. If you enjoyed this background music and ambiance, you should visit Tabletop Audio. Find them at www.tabletopaudio.com. And take the time to sojourn with us. For articles on playing your very own Dungeons & Dragons games, visit www.sojournersawake.com. You can also find us being inspirational on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, may your story continue.